This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about working for exposure. But before I do, if you want good exposure, you can go out to allwin.com, www.allwin.com, which is one of the show's sponsors. Check them out. It's a great place to get people to get affiliate sponsors for your show if you're doing a show or a content creator, or if you want to sell your business or market your business, you can go to them to get people to market for you. Check them out. It's really cool. It's kind of like a dating site, but instead of matching two people together, it matches two businesses together. One that wants marketing, one who wants marketing dollars. It's a great place. Go check them out. Now, what type of exposure am I talking about? Well, working for exposure is most often seen with entertainers and people who do things in the event industry. It happens a lot. I'm not sure, it probably happens in other industries to some degree, but it's very widespread amongst the entertainer/event people. However, there is one type of person who quite often likes to get a lot of free stuff for quote unquote exposure, and that is influencers, social media influencers. They do have a habit of asking for free stuff for exposures, a shout out on their blog or on their Instagram or what have you. And they do it to try to get something for free. Now, I think there is a definite reason to work and do something for free for a influencer. However, there's a certain way to go about it and how to pick. And I can go into that a little bit on when I do believe it's a good time to work for exposure or provide product for exposure. But I'll go into being a social media influencer at a later date. I do think it's fine, just fine. I do push being a content creator, creating content, posting things up on Instagram, posting things on Facebook, not Facebook so much, but posting things on YouTube, doing podcasts, writing blogs, being a content creator and getting paid for it. I am absolutely fine with that. However, when you have 3 followers and 2 of which are your mom and dad, and you walk up to someone and say, hey, for a shout out on my Instagram post, will you be so kind as give me a free food or free night stay or a free party? Yeah, no. That's a little bit much. But I'll go into that in a little bit. So, first of all, being a balloon artist, I get 2, 3, 4 times a year, if not sometimes it seems like every other month or every month, a request for doing a free event for exposure. What this means is if I do their event, they will be so nice as to let myself advertise myself at their event, and then they don't have to pay anything for the event. Now, this may work out just great. This may work out really horribly. And I would say 99 times out of 100, the only type of events you get from doing a free event is more free events. So you do something for exposure, you get exposure to people who know that you will work for free for exposure, and you'll get more exposure to more people who want you to work for free. It usually tends to backfire quite a bit. Now, understandably, if the event in question is a charity event, or some other nonprofit, yeah, I can understand that they're needing to keep costs down on the event. It is a charity after all, but you need to get paid as well. And my idea on charity, as you know, I want you to be a giver. I think giving is a massive part of business, and you should be a giver. But you can't give to every single charity that contacts you, because you could go broke overnight if you did that. What I do for charities is I give them a 10% discount, and I will work with them and see if maybe they can find a sponsor to pay my fee or something else. There's a very great script, great way to convert nonprofits and charities into paying customers. That's very nice, very helpful, and yet you can still help them out a little bit. But you can't do every charity. Now, what I do is I have my own picked select charities. My number one charity is Mercy Ships, www.mercyships.org. Amazing charity, my personal favorite. They have carte blanche with all my services. I take care of them immediately if they need my services. No problem. And because I have them as a charity and a couple other connected things as charities that I choose to give to, then that's my charity for the year. Not that I mind giving stuff to charity, but again, I'm a business guy and I've got kids to feed. As one guy I know jokes, he wrote a couple of books and goes, the proceeds of these books goes to feed hungry children. Mine. Yeah, he's being funny, but there's a point. You got to feed your own family too. You can't take care of other people if you're yourself starving to death. So yes, work for charity events. If you decide to give them a discount, give them a discount. But don't just do it for exposure, because you'll be swamped by charity requests over and over and over again. And there's very polite ways to still take care of the charity event and still get paid for at least your time and effort to some degree so that you can take care of it. Now, what other type of events? Well, there's a lot of other events that might want you to work for exposure as well. And those can be varied. Again, the biggest one is oftentimes social media influencers. But I've had a nonprofit community run race that I was brought in to do. I did that for exposure. Never got a client from it. Finally charged them at a discount rate, but you had to charge them for the event, especially since it was on my birthday. I actually got a client from it for doing it on my birthday, which is kind of funny. But they paid for it. A lot of times you'll get, for example, here's a type of event that I will never do for exposure. You never do, in my opinion, never do an event for exposure where you still have to pay them to do the event and get the exposure. If you're going to do an event, pay them to be there, and they want something for free on top of that, maybe for a tiny little bitty discount on your fee to be there, I wouldn't do it. For example, I've had a wedding show invite me in and say, hey, could you do some really great decorations and decorate the whole fair for us? And we'll give you a 10% discount on your booth. Booth is normally about $300. We'll give you it for $270. No. First of all, I didn't have the $300. Second of all, they wanted me to do $300 or $400 worth of decorations, and then for exposure, and then pay them money to do it. Now, I was kind of desperate for business, and I was considering it. To be honest, I was considering doing it, but I just didn't have the money to do it. It's like, well, if you can give me the booth for free, I can do the whole place for you. Now, this venue is a huge, massive venue. They have lots of clients, and they have a lot of money, and I know it. I know one of the guys that runs it. So It wasn't money. They were just being cheap, and they wanted me to pay to work for them for free so I could have a booth for exposure. I won't do that. Sorry, no dice. Now, does this mean that you should never work for exposure? Never give out a freebie? Never support a charity with your stuff? Well, of course, you want to support charities, but never do this? No. You can work for exposure. There are times when you can get great exposure and work for free, but it has to be really, really worth it and very strategic. First of all, if there's an event you want to do that you see and you like and you really feel like they'll fit what you want to do in your target market, then do that one for exposure and reach out to them. You can say, hey, I will do this for free if you let me put my name all over it. That's a great way to do it because it's targeted. You see, often an event that asks you to work for exposure, that's great, but the people they're exposing you to are not your target market. Say you sell, just as a random example, say you sell razors, and your target market is men with beards, and they want you to work for free for some odd reason. It doesn't quite fit the scenario, but they want you to work for free for a children's party for exposure. Why would they need razors? I don't know. But point being, not your target market. Quite often, I'm asked to do something for exposure. It's for kids. I do kid stuff. That's great. But it's usually for local city kids whose parents don't have a lot of money and don't want to pay for my services for birthday parties. So, yeah, I've done a lot of these events for exposure, and some people do, but because of the neighborhood they're in, it's the people are usually the coupon cutters, price cutting families that want to save every penny, and they don't want to spend extra. They're not going to hire me. Now, if I was invited to an event where people were really wanting to show off and spend a lot of money on the kids and have these huge parties and have a clown and have decorations and have all this stuff, then yeah, maybe I'd consider it because that would be my target market. Now, there was 2 times, actually, one time I thought of the other day, but 2 times where working for exposure really worked well for me. But with these events, not only did they let me work for exposure, but it was in my target market, and they were very, very nice and paid my immediate cost to do the event. That's the best way to do exposure. If you can get your costs covered, that's amazing. Rare, but amazing. Their first was a massive event this company was holding. I did a whole bunch of balloons on the ceiling. I took an entire room and covered it 3-4 walls and the ceiling in balloons, just an opening for each door. I did a whole bunch of columns. I would probably charged 30 some odd thousand kroner, $3,000 for it. It was a lot of work. It took me and my employee, we went there, got there really early, and we worked, I think it was like 9 or 10 hours straight through. Both of us working together to do this. They paid for all my expenses, including a salary, including our lunch, which was amazing, and nothing else. Now, why did I go ahead and do it for exposure? Well, first of all, they paid my costs, so hey, that's always a win. Second of all, this is my biggest client who has provided me around between 50 and 80% of my income over the last 5 years, and had a really good working relationship with these guys. And the event they were doing, well, they're an event company. And so being an event company, their clients are my clients as well. So basically, they reach out to big name clients and then pitch my balloon services as part of the package they can do. They've added me in as one of their third-party vendors that they call on anytime they do a big event. So definitely what I need for my target market. And this big event they were doing was a special party where they were inviting all their big clients in and all their potential big clients in to show off what they can do. And I got at least 4 or 5 paid gigs out from that one gig and got my expenses covered, and it was amazing. It was definitely worth it because, again, they paid for my cost. Their target market was my target market, and they're in my industry, and we work together very, very well. So that worked out great. The other time was another wedding show who covered my cost, let me have a booth for free, and I decorated a lot for them. I did a lot of decorations to cover the cost, so it was a fair deal. And they really helped me out. They've been promoting me in their wedding store. I've gotten several gigs out of it just from doing it. Paid gigs. I got to meet a lot of brides-to-be, and it was really looking like it was helping my business recover from a slump. And it was amazing. And it was done for exposure, but the exposure was amazing. And because I did the event, afterwards, when I talked to other people I was pitching, other clients, I said, oh yeah, I just did that big wedding. Oh, you did that big wedding show? Oh, was that with Judy? Yeah, it was with Judy. Great, I know Judy, you're awesome. Great, cool. Give me your card. That's it. The person I did the exposure for. That's another thing. If you work with somebody and do a great job of somebody who is well respected and well known in the community, that might give you some street cred to increase your value as well as a business. Another reason to work for exposure is working for who you do. Now, also with that street cred, there's one place I've heard of, and I've actually just had a conversation on a Facebook group, and I've known a couple of people who did events for free at the White House. Yeah, when you do an event at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you get some pretty big street cred, and that turns into dollars pretty quickly. So doing an event at some place like the White House, if likely you might get paid anyway, but even if you don't, saying, yeah, I performed at the White House, or I decorated for the White House, put that on your resume, on your Facebook page or website, yeah, that gives you really good street cred. And the exposure from that, even if it's not a lot of immediate exposure, is well worth it into the future. So that's another thing to consider. Is a place I'm doing, if I do this for free, is it impressive enough of an event or person that I'm working for to help out my brand? Will it work for me? And then if the answer is yes, then do it. I can guarantee you, if for some odd reason I got an invitation to go do an event for the White House, I would do it in a heartbeat. If you're a caterer, cater an event. Provide food, provide food. I mean, if you can do something for the White House, politics aside, you can say, hey, I was invited to the White House, then you got some street cred. But not everyone gets a chance to work for the White House. But working for other people that do have a good name can help you get into corporate offices. That big event company I work for, I do a lot of work for, they are big, they're very well known, they're very well respected. And therefore, when I've pitched other big businesses and I say, well, I have done a lot of work for this other big company, they go, really? Oh, okay. Then, yeah, no, those are good guys. I know those guys. Yeah, let's talk. And walls come down and things really can change because of who you've done work for. So that's my thought on working for exposure / working for free. And yeah, go ahead, Give away freebies, work for free. Sure, but make sure it makes sense and works with your business marketing plan. You have a great day. Bye bye. Okay, just as a reminder, we do offer a free 1/2 hour, no obligation consultation. All you need to do is go to our website and contact us through there, or you can contact me directly at my O'Connor Bootstrap podcast Facebook group or our Atheoz.com Facebook page as well. And if you would like to support this channel, the best thing you can do, of course, is to like and share and subscribe. That helps the most. Or you can check out one of our affiliate links. And of course, I do have a PayPal and a Patreon account, and the links will be in the description below. Thank you very much. You all have a good day. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast and Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For other podcasts, past episodes, and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com. That is www.atheoz.com or atheoz.com. Until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.